And now the moment of truth has finally come, only to allow us the opportunity to see an all-out battle of domains. With Ishiguri, Yuta, and Uro all using their domain expansions at once, even allowing us to learn even more about the power system of Jujutsu Kaisen and how domains ultimately work. Truth be told, there is a lot that goes into one small aspect of a fight in this series, and it's really satisfying to see. As we already know, one of Jeje Akutami's biggest strengths is his attention to detail. With that being said, there is a lot more to domains in comparison to what we knew before. We know now that in a battle of domains, when both domains are clashing against each other, we know that the techniques of the user will be cancelled out. And when it comes to Yuta's domain, we know that Rika has to be inside of it so that Yuta can fully sustain his full power within the domain. Figuring out what exactly would happen once Rika is inside the domain itself is still a mystery, yet the possibility of us seeing Yuta's domain is still up for grabs. Especially if you want to think about the current situation. With so many people out to kill each other in a single moment, a domain expansion is really looking like the best possibility to ensure Yuta's own survival and to prevent Yuta's opponents from using any secret methods to their techniques that we don't already know about. All in all, if Yuta's able to finally trap someone in his domain expansion, it's pretty safe to say that he would win due to his cursed energy amount alone. The most interesting aspect about this battle of domains is the very fact that they cannot let Rika enter the barrier, and it's pretty obvious why. If Yuta has a connection with Rika while he creates his own domain, his domain would simply overpower Ishiguri's and Uro's due to Rika's cursed energy supply. And as we already know, a domain can cancel out another domain depending on the compatibility and its cursed energy. And with Yuta having so much cursed energy, it's only natural that he would win in a battle of domains. And to make matters worse for Ishiguri and Uro, Rika would only get stronger and have a power output that has reached another level entirely. And they were already struggling against her before. So now, things are looking bad for the villains. Of course, that is until an unexpected event breaks our expectations.
The cockroach man lives. I knew it wasn't the end of him. You slept on the roach man, but I promise you that he's gonna come back even stronger. And he did just that.
And yes, our favorite character is back, and he's always craving the taste of iron. And oddly enough, we begin to understand that Kurorushi comes from the modern era of sorcery, which says a lot about the people of this current era of time versus all those years before in history. Back then, the idea of being afraid of a mere cockroach would have seemed as if it were contrived, maybe even foolish. Something so insignificant that could be killed in an instant is given so much power by humans through their fear that it allows the being itself to thrive even after its initial death. And after all, with Kurorushi being a cockroach, even though we kill so many roaches in this modern era, we just can't seem to get rid of them. And that would also seem to be the case with this evil roach cursed spirit. Even though he died within the culling game, he is still around to kill and prey on everyone participating in the game. So we're gonna be seeing this guy a lot.
And I like that.
When push comes to shove, although I said a domain is definitely the best way to win in a fight at this moment, between Uro, Ishiguri, and Yuta, all of their domains begin to collapse at once, due to a lot of different circumstances. You have 3 different domains collapsing in on one another, and you have an outside force pushing itself inside of all of their domains, and each of their domains have specific conditions that have to be met in order to have the domain sustain itself. and all of these factors contributed into the collapse of the domain expansions. So there's no get out of jail free card this time around. And within the confusion of the domains, Yuta, being the savage that he is, he sees a free opportunity to hit Uro when her guard is down, and boy, does he make the most of it. And here on out, it's looking as if everything is not going to be going Uro's way, because Yuta hits her in front of Kurorushi, who is the guy, well, Roach, she does not want to mess with at this moment, especially since after using her domain, her techniques are all burnt out, and they are way more difficult to use, which is only natural because the domain requires a lot of cursed energy, and so you would be burning all of your resources by using the domain. Obviously, it would seem optimal to use the domain expansion as a last resort. Really, Kurorushi is the last person you'd want to fight. Given his disgusting weapon, with a single swing, he is able to allow his roach inhabitants to manifest themselves within your body. Jeez, what can anyone really say about this guy? He's really cool, but no. Seeing these roaches, it's so gross, but I really don't feel like it will ever get old. With Kurorushi's attack, Uro begins to lose her arm, and Rika then begins to eat her arm. There's nothing wrong with playing a little game of fetch every once in a while, right? Ishiguri takes notice of this, and this allows him to further prepare himself for what's next against Yuta. But between you and me, I'm sure he was already ready for what's to come. And we learn that the reversed curse technique can actually give Uro her arm back, but this would be no easy feat. Now, if you take someone who is a lot more efficient in the reverse technique, they could possibly instantaneously recover any limbs that they lose. Really, these guys are monsters. And as disgusting as Kurorushi is, things are shaping up for Ishiguri to be the most dangerous out of all of them, due to him being able to be as strong as he usually is, even after using a domain expansion. His regular attacks are just as strong as his techniques, and so he still has a fighting chance, which allows him to completely decimate Uro and Kurorushi, leading to what may possibly be Yuta's most dangerous fight in the culling game, due to him not being able to use his techniques while going against Ishiguri, who is just as strong even without his own techniques. Who's gonna win? Ishiguri or debuff Yuta?